How's it going? My name's Josh with Roof Tech Consulting and Construction, and we're here today at policyholder Portia Slayton's home. Again, that's policyholder Portia Slayton, and her address is 120 Brash Park Drive, Grantville, Georgia 30220. Her claim number is 0100-999-1150. Again, that claim number is 0100-999-1150. Today's date is August 19th, 2026, and it's 9:54 a.m. Temperature is 81 degrees Fahrenheit. And so this is a wind and hail claim. And if James, if you would kind of show an overview of the property. Now, we did not chalk all the damage or do any test squares since insurance has already done their inspection, but there's scattered wind and hail damage all over the house and the detached structure on both sides. An older roof with hardly no shade on it in the daytime, and so it's very brittle. And so we tried to repair it once already and discovered that it was not repairable. And so we're here today to do another repair attempt on video this time, though, to show insurance that it's not repairable. If it proves not to be repairable the second time. All right, James, I'm gonna let you go ahead and get seated there, situated. All right. So, and again, there's wind damage on every facet of this house. It's scattered. There's hail damage as well, and so, but this one came out from insurance to be a repair on the scope for the wind damage rather than full replacement. But we can't repair it because every time when it's not repairable like this, or that's what we discovered the first time we tried, and that's why we're doing it on video now. But when it's not repairable like this, you end up damaging 2 shingles just to replace one. And so I chalked these 2 here because there's 2 really close to each other, but I'm going to replace this one here. And James, let me see the phone real quick for a second. And so I just want to show that, all right, this is the one we're replacing, and I know there's granule loss and definitely some hail hits all over, but I just want to show that the shingles above it that have to be lifted and manipulated are sealed and in normal condition with just normal wear and tear with the consistency of the rest of the roof. No prior creasing or prior damage other than some hail hits possibly, which is scattered all over the roof anyways. But so this is the one I will be replacing right here. And as you can see, like I said, the shingles above it and around it are in good condition with no prior damage or creasing. All right, and I will be using the roof snake as well. And I want to ask that you pay close attention to how easy and gentle I am with the roof snake. I know that you're allowed to go 45 degrees on your bend on these tabs to get the nails in and out, but when you use the roof snake, the good thing is they only get bent, if you use them correctly, about 20 to 25 degrees. And so I will be using the roof snake correctly doing that. And I want to ask again, please pay close attention to how much I lift them and how gentle I am, because I want to truly find out if the roof is not repairable. And keep the camera on the repair zone the whole time. James, make sure they can see all this too. So chalked it. I can tell from the keyhole here that this is the end of the shingle. All right, so I'll be replacing this one here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and break these loose using the roof snake, and I'm going to be gentle. I don't shove the roof snake way high up under that tab. I just go barely past that seal line, nice and easy. I kind of keep my hand on the top of the tab so when I get to the end, I don't accidentally jar or pop it up. And I can also feel where that roof snake's at so that I'm not being too aggressive and, like I said, going way high up into the tab. So, all right, let me go ahead and get the rest of these 2 broke loose. Okay, nice and easy, as you can see. getting loose already. Okay. And now these three. Yeah. And should be my last one here. Good deal. Okay, now I'm going to use the roof snake to pry these nails out. All right, and again, I want to just call out how I'm not going to lift that tab way up to get to see the nail. In fact, I'm just going to barely lift it and try to find the nail that way. Okay, just looking for the nails. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to let the roof snake determine how much the tab gets lifted. As you can see, the tool is doing the job here. It's the one that's, when used correctly, it does the lifting. And so gotta get the nail started and come over here and get it the rest of the way out. And that tab is only getting lifted about the length of the nail, which is the bare minimum you can go. You gotta get the nail out. So and going back here. Nice and easy here. A little bit of blow through. So there's some blow through right here, which is, you know, where the nail was sunk too deep into the matting, and so having a hard time getting the roof snake under there. Now in these cases, the reason why is because that's a blunt edge, and so if the nail's sunk into the matting, it's hard to dig that up under that nail head with that blunt of an edge. So I always resort to what's called the cat's claw, and so it has the more pointier tip, and so I'm going to use it instead. And this does the same thing as the roof snake in the fact that it will let you get in there without lifting that tab really high. You can see that tab still barely lifted. Okay, trying to get under that nail and get it started. Got it started there. And look, I'm just barely getting this tab lifted, nowhere near 45 degrees. Okay, so I'll continue on with the roof snake. Now I'm going to the second row now. All right, I'm gonna barely lift that. Again, I'm letting the roof snake do the lifting here. Nice and easy, okay? Next nail, this is where a new shingle starts. Okay. Again, just barely lifting these tabs. Very brittle. All right, that should free up our shingle. Let's see. Yep. So there we go. There's the Windcrete shingle. All right. I'm gonna toss that there. I'm grabbing my new one here. All right. Get it back in place. All right, and I will be using the roof snake as well to put the nails back in, so that still continuing to lift these tabs as little as possible. Okay, So now the roof snake, where the nail inserts, it has about a 3/16 of an inch lip right there that whenever you drive it all the way down with the roof snake, it leaves the nail sticking up like a nail pop, 3/16 of an inch. And so you'll see me drive it as far as I can, then I'll gently pull this roof snake back, set it on top of the nail head, and tap it a couple of times to drive it all the way flat and flush with the matting of the shingle, so that the tab that lays on top of where the nail is can lay flat and flush so that it reseals properly. All right, so I'm barely lifting that, guys, just enough to get it under there. Again, letting the roof snake determine how much it gets lifted so that we know it's the bare minimum. All right. Going to adjust a little bit here for a second. Ooh, you can see all those granules built up on the pitch hopper there. It's a lot of granule loss going on here.
Yeah, you can literally see the granules falling off the roof.
So I'm going back to my next nail. Barely lifting that. Get that right there on the nail line. Okay. Next nail. Back into the next nail. Again, just taking my time, nice and easy. Here goes my last nail. Further with that one. All right, so kind of adjust here, keep the camera on the repair zone. Get those loose granules away from the pitch hopper so I don't slide. All right, and so just out of habit, I know it's obvious, but I'm gonna go ahead and write new on the new shingle. And then, James, I'm gonna get you to stand up or pass with the phone. And again, keeping it on the repair zone here. And so, want to point out the shingles here that have been lifted to get the nails in and out to replace the wind crease shingle. This first tab here, you can see that it's got a crease going all the way across. Now I know there's granule loss going on, but that is, you know, an obvious crease there. And so that one is damaged. Then the next one here, and again, that is the beginning, the first tab of this shingle here. So now that shingle's damaged and needs to be replaced. All right, and then the first tab of this shingle, you can see just that really bad harsh creasing there across the top. And these shingles were you know, barely lifted. We're talking like 25 degrees max, and you can see just how bad they're creasing on us. So, and that's using the roof snake. All right, and then you can see the next one over here. Same thing, bad, severe crease across it. And then moving over to this one here, same result. Every one of them, it looks like it's creased on us. This one, I thought that was a crack actually. So, yep. So that one's damaged. So there's 2 shingles so far as a result of the repair that have been damaged and have to be replaced. And then moving up to this tab here, you can see it creased on us as well, all the way across the top there. Same thing with this one. The worst of it's right there, but you can see it going all the way across. And then the last and final tab is creased as well on us, so you can definitely see it at the start there and how it kind of went all the way across there. So now if we were to continue with trying to repair the roof, we would have to now replace those 3 shingles, which would then damage the 5 above it, and then the 7 or 8 above it, and it would just continue on until we got to the ridge. And so when you've got this much wind damage, I mean, there's a lot of them down lower, kind of towards the gutter and the middle of the roof. But when you've got it this much damage, and it's doing this here, you'd end up having to replace the whole roof anyways, because again, there's damage on pretty much every facet. And so the only way to truly get this roof back to pre-loss condition would be to do a full replacement. And so we'd like to ask this one to be revised to a full replacement. And thank you very much.